In the second video, I'm going through the process of software installation required to use the DSL3S language. This process is described in the Wiki at GitHub, and I'm going to do exactly the same. This process is the same on pretty much any system where you have Java and Eclipse installed already. So it's independent if you're either on Windows or Mac. In this case, I'm running pretty vanilla Ubuntu 12.04 distribution. So the first thing to install are the plugins to Eclipse that allow us to work with model-driven development. This is conveniently available at the main repository for Eclipse. So what we have to do is go to the Help menu and select Install New Software, and then reference the Kepler update site. Here we'll get a list of various categories of plugins. We go to Modeling and expand the Modeling node, and then we have to select two plugins. First, ACELEO, this is the code generation engine, and then Papyrus. Papyrus is a OML graphical modeler, and with these two selected, then we can click Next, wait for the dependencies to be calculated, and go on, then accept the licenses, and the installation process starts. It always takes a bit of time. It's just a matter of waiting. So the process is finished, and now Eclipse asks for a restart. That's exactly what we do. So this is usually also a slow process. And there we have Eclipse again. As new software has been installed, then we have the welcome screen. Go back to the workbench. Now there is a further component that has to be installed with these plugins, and this is accessible here again in the Help menu. We have a new item called Install Papyrus Additional Components. Let's go in there, and here there will be a list of different assets that can be added to the Papyrus extension, and here we're just going to select View Style Sheets, which might be useful later on, and then click Finish and wait for the install process to go on. Next here, always next, accept the license. Okay. And Eclipse again asks for a restart. Okay, now we have the model-driven development tools installed in Eclipse, and as a second step we have to install the DSL3S plugins. These are available presently at GitHub in a dedicated update site at this location. It is referenced here in the wiki. So what we need to do is to copy this location and add it as a new repository to our software sources. So again, we go to the Help menu, install new software, add a new repository, let's call it DSL3S, provide the location, okay. Now Eclipse will probe and finds DSL3S. So inside the DSL3S category there are two plugins, the UML profile and the MDD3S code generator. Select everything, click next, and the dependencies get calculated. Next again, now there is a license to accept, click finish, and we are back to our install software process. Okay, accept here the unsigned thing. This is pretty fast, and then again we are asked to restart Eclipse. That's what we do. Okay, so all plugins are now installed, but there is a last step in this process to take, and these are the software dependencies. So the models that are generated with the MDD3S code generated are Java programs that in themselves depend on several Java libraries. These are the Mason multi-agent toolkit, the GeoMason extension to Mason, it's the GIS extension to Mason, the Java topology suite that contains various functions to manipulate geospatial data, and the OpenCSV library that allows us to import CSV data into models. Now for convenience, all these libraries are available as jars inside a single archive that is available here at the GitHub. So all we need to do is download these jars. So let's get it. And now these jars must be expanded into some place that is easily accessible. So what I'm going to do is copy these jars to my local Java folder. So this will be home, share, Java, and copy them here. Okay, and on a different system, let's say on Windows, you can do pretty much the same and just expand these jar files to somewhere in your home folder, in your user folder. The only concern here is to have these files easily accessible by Eclipse when we develop models with the DSL3S language later on. So that's all for this video. On the next video I'll give a first flavor of how to use the DSL3S and generate models from a DSL3S graphical model.